Welcome to the YouTube video channel for my new book, Seed of Israel, DNA Guide to Tracing Your Jewish Ancestry, available on Amazon in ebook and paperback versions. Links to order your copies are below. Also, be sure to hit that subscribe button to get more videos like this. In this video, I want to use the Vahaduo online tool for modeling your ancestry based on the Eurogenes Global25 coordinates to show the closest populations to the ancient Levant DNA samples. And one of the reasons I want to do this is because I've been getting a lot of comments on my YouTube videos from either members of the Black Hebrew Israelites, BHI, or just commentators who have the same ideology as this group. And they claim that the original Israelites were black Africans. And that's just not what genetics shows. That's not what the DNA shows. It's not what the genetics shows. So I just want to really make it very clear via this online admixture calculator by comparing the modern, I'm going to run the admixture calculator with the ancient DNA Levant samples, and as a target, and the source coordinates. The source are the modern global 25 coordinates for modern populations and ethnicities, including Jews, and also myself. As you can see, Joshua scaled at the top as I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, and these are all averages. So these are scaled averages. So these are modern population scaled averages for the global 25 coordinates, and compared to ancient Levant average samples that have been collected from the Levant region of the Eastern Mediterranean, Middle East. And as you can see, these are the samples, the averages their coordinates for Levant Canaanite NBA, Levant Israel Ashkelon, and NBA is Middle Bronze Age. Levant Israel Ashkelon Iron Age 1. That's from a study they did on the Philistines. And Levant Israel Ashkelon Iron Age 2. Levant Israel Ashkelon late Bronze Age. And that's, as you'll see, that's when the Philistines very quickly intermix with the native Levantines. And when they arrived, most likely from Crete or somewhere in the Aegean, into southern Israel. And then there's Levant Israel Chalcolithic, Levant Israel Middle to Late Bronze Age, Levant Jordan Early Bronze Age, Levant Lebanon Middle Ages Euro. That's a European in the probably a Crusader. I think a Crusader. That's from a recent study. And Levant Lebanon Middle Ages mixed. That's Crusader from Europe who mixed with a native Lebanese. Levant Lebanon Middle Ages NE. Not sure what NE is. Levant Lebanon Roman. Levant Natufian. Levant PPMB, which I believe is pre-pottery. I can leave links to these studies, but I think it's pre-pottery Neolithic something. And then there's Levant PPNC. So anyway, those are all the ancient. These are the ancient Levant DNA samples, the averages. So let's take a look at what we get. So I'm going to do max output number 50 for the genetic distance with the ancient Levant samples to modern populations in the global 25 coordinates. So let's start with Levant Canaanite NBA. So you can see the closest modern population is Samaritan, followed by Lebanese Christian, Lebanese Druze, Karaite Egypt, Lebanese Muslim, Iraqi Jew, Palestinian, Cypriot, Syrian Jew, Tunisian Jew, Syrian, Libyan Jew, Romaniat Jew, Bedouin, Iranian Jew, Yemenite Emran, Georgian Jew, Assyrian, Sephardic Jew, Italian Jew, Greek Central Anatolia, Moroccan Jew, Armenian, Yemenite Jew, Yemenite Damar, Yemenite Marib, Yemenite Al-Baida, Yemenite Al-Jaf, Turkish Trabzon, Greek Crete, and there's Ashkenazi Jew, Saudi, Greek Trabzon, Italian Calabria, Bedouin B, Italian Piedmont, Maltese, Armenian, Hamsheni, Yemenite Mara, Italian Campania, Sicilian East, Turkish Khazari, Italian Basilica, Italian South, Italian Apulia, Turkish Adana, Kurdish Azid, and there's me, Joshua Scaled. So again, these are averages. So I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, but I might be a little bit more shifted towards Italian rather than Levant. So even though Levant is my top population, I do also get a lot of Italian results too, especially from northern Italy. So anyway, it varies, but those are the results for Levant Canaanite MBA. Let's take a look at Levant Israel Ashkelon Iron Age 1. And again, this is sort of like mixed Philistine. When they first arrived to the Levant, and you get Cypriot, Romaneo Jew, Italian Jew, Sephardic Jew, Italian Calabria, Syrian Jew, Lebanese Christian, Greek Central Anatolia, Italian Piedmont, Druze, Greek Crete, Tunisian Jew, Italian Campania, Lebanese Druze, Libyan Jew, Sicilian East, Caria Egypt, Italian Basilica, Italian Apulia, Ashkenazi Jew, Maltese, Moroccan Jew, Italian South, Lebanese Muslim, Samaritan, Italian Abruzzo, Sicilian West, Italian Molise, Italian Lazio, Iraqi Jew, there's me, Joshua Scaled, Turkish Trabzon, Syrian, Armenian, Italian Marsh, Italian Umbria, Georgian Jew, Greek Trabzon, Assyrian, Iranian Jew, Palestinian, Italian Tuscany, Greek, Armenian Hamsheni, Turkish Kasari, French Corsica, Albanian, French Corsica, Turkish Istanbul, Turkish Adana. And so let's take a look at Levant Israel Ashkelon IA2. And that we have the top population Samaritan. And then I'm not going to mention every single population, but I'll let you take a look, and I'm going to start scrolling down. But again, generally it's Samaritan, Lebanese Christian, Lebanese Druze. So really at the top there. So, and then there's Ashkenazi Jew. Okay, let's take a look at Levant Israel Ashkelon LBA. And there's Samaritan, Lebanese Christian, Druze. And there I am a little farther to the bottom of the top 50. And let's take a look at Levant Israel Chalcolithic. And that's, again, top population, closest population. I made a video about this, that the Samaritans are the closest population to many of the ancient Levant samples. And there it is again. Now, you get a lot of Yemenite modern Yemenite populations that are very close to the Chalcolithic Levant. Also Saudi, Bedouins. So there's Ashkenazi Jew, Sephardic Jew, Iraqi Jew, Syrian, Italian Calabria, Ashkenazi Jew, Maltese, Greek Crete, Egyptian. And there's me, right between Georgian Jew and Assyrian. So let's take another look at that list. The top 50 genetically from modern populations, which in terms of genetic distance from Levant Israel Chalcolithic. Let's take a look at Levant Israel Middle to Late Bronze Age. Lebanese Christian is the top population, followed very closely by Samaritan. And I'm just going to scroll down here. There's Ashkenazi Jew between Yemenite Al-Jaf and Turkish Trabzon. And there's me between Sicilian West and Turkish Adana. And so let's see, let's take a look at Levant Jordan Early Bronze Age. And Yemenite. So, modern Yemenites are very similar to some of these ancient Levant samples. Also Saudi, you see there. So we got Yemenite Amran, Yemenite Jew, Yemenite Marib, Yemenite Al-Jaf, Yemenite Damar, Saudi, Yemenite Al-Baida, Bedouin, and then there's Samaritan. Let's just scroll down here. And let's take a look at Levant, Lebanon, Middle Ages, Euro. So again, this is a European in the probably a Crusader in the Lebanon. And so obviously very European results there, starting with French. And let's take a look one more time. Again, this is the top 50 closest modern populations to these ancient Levant samples. And let's take a look at Levant, Lebanon, Middle Ages mix. So again, this is a Crusader that mixed with a native Lebanese. And so, yeah, you got Sicilian West. So we're talking about maybe 50-50 European, Levantine, Middle East. And Sicilian West, Maltese. You got a bunch of Italian results. Italian Abruzzo, Italian Umbria, Italian Lazio, etc. And you can scroll down, you can see Ashkenazi Jew, and there's me, Joshua Scaled. And I'm just going to keep scrolling down here, show you the top 50. And let's take a look at Levant, Lebanon, MANE. So that's top population is Lebanese Christian, Druze, Lebanese Druze, Cariot Egypt, Samaritan, Cypriot, Lebanese Muslim, Syrian Jew, Iraqi Jew, Romaniote Jew, Tunisian Jew, Libyan Jew, Syrian, Sephardic Jew, Iranian Jew, Italian Jew, Palestinian, Greek Central Anatolia, Georgian Jew, Assyrian, Moroccan Jew, Armenian, Greek Crete, Ashkenazi Jew, Italian Calabria, Turkish Trabzon, Italian Piedmont, Bedouin, Italian Campania, Maltese, Greek Trabzon, Sicilian East. There's me, Joshua Scaled, between Turkish Khazari and Sicilian West. And there's rounding out the top 50. Let's take a look at Levant, Lebanon, Roman. So Lebanese Christian, again, is the top population there. Closest population, and then Druze, Lebanese Druze, Samaritan, Cariot Egypt, Lebanese Muslim, Cypriot, Iraqi Jew, Syrian Jew, Syrian, Romaniote Jew, Tunisian Jew, Palestinian, Iranian Jew, Libyan Jew, Georgian Jew, Assyrian, Sephardic Jew. And then there's Ashkenazi Jew. And there's me, a little farther down. And there's the rest of the top 50. Now let's take a look at Levant Natufian. Levant Natufian, very Arabian Peninsula results. Yemenite, Bedouin, Saudi. It's Berber, Tunisia, Egyptian, Libyan, Bedouin, Moroccan North. There's Palestinian, Samaritan, Tunisian Jew. There's Ashkenazi Jew. So there's Italian Jew, Druze, Sephardic Jew, Cypriot, Ashkenazi Jew, Iraqi Jew, Maltese, Italian Calabria, there's me, Joshua Scaled, Iranian Jew, Sicilian West, Sicilian East, Italian Campania, Greek Crete, Italian Piedmont, rounding out the top 50. And a couple more. Let's see, Levant PPMB. Let's take a look at that. That's, again, there's a lot of Yemenite results there. And Bedouin and Saudi and Samaritan and North African Jews. And there's Romaniot Jew, Lebanese Christian, Palestinian, Romaniot Jew, Italian Jew, Cypriot, carried Egypt, Sephardic Jew. And there's Ashkenazi Jew. And there's me, between Italian Apulia and Libyan. Now let's scroll down to the bottom there. And then Levant PPNC. And there's all the Yemenite Marib, Yemenite Al-Jaf, Yemenite Marat, Yemenite Damar, Yemenite Jew, Bedouin, Yemenite Al-Baida, Saudi, Yemenite Imran, Samaritan, Tunisian Jew, Libyan Jew, Bedouin, Palestinian, Lebanese Christian, Moroccan Jew, Romaniot Jew, Egyptian, Italian Jew, Cypriot, carried Egypt, Sephardic Jew, Syrian Jew, Druze, Lebanese Muslim, Berber Tunisia, Maltese, Ashkenazi Jew, Italian Calabria, Libyan, Berber Tunisia, Chen, Syrian, Moroccan North, Italian Campania, Iraqi Jew, Sicilian East, Italian Piedmont, Greek Crete, Tunisian, Sicilian West, Italian Basilica, Italian Apulia. There's me, Joshua Scaled, Italian South, Canary Islands Gauch, Italian Abruzzo, Italian Lazio, Greek Central Anatolia, and Sardinian. And then let's take a look at the population values, the top modern population values for these ancient Levant samples. So let's start with the Levant Canaanite MBA. Oops. Let's see that again. So there we go. Levant Canaanite Middle Bronze Age. 41.8 Samaritan, 26.8 Lebanese Christian, 18.8 Yemenite Marah, 10.2 Armenian Hamsheni, 1.6 Turkish Trabzon, 0.8 Bedouin B. Let's take a look at Levant Israel Ashkelon Iron Age 1. And that's 36 Samaritan, 27 Sardinian, 24.4 Greek Central Anatolia, 8 Armenian Hamsheni, 3.8 Turkish Trabzon, 0.6 Biaka, 0.2 Jew Hoan North. Let's take a look at Levant Israel Ashkelon Iron Age 2. Yeah, and that's 27.6 Yemenite Marat, 26.2 Samaritan, 19.4 Lebanese Christian, 17 Armenian Hamsheni, 5.6 Iraqi Jew, 2 Berber Tunisia Chen, 1.8 Sardinian, 0.4 Bolivian La Paz. And let's take a look at Levant Israel Chalcolithic. 60 Yemenite Mara, 27 Sardinian, 13 Samaritan. And let's take a look at Levant Israel Middle to Late Bronze Age. And kind of interesting results here. 25.6 Armenian Hamsheni, and then 23 Saudi, 22.8 Yemenite Marib, 14.8 Greek Central Anatolia, 11 Sardinian, and 2.8 Yemenite Jew. And let me look at it one more time. Let's take a look at Levant Jordan Early Bronze Age. And a lot of Yemenite again. 53.8 Yemenite Marah, 30 Lebanese Christian, 8 Greek Central Anatolia, 5.6 Bedouin B, 2 Sardinian, 0.4 Saudi, 0.2 Armenian Hamsheni. And let's take a look at Levant Lebanon Middle Age Euro. And obviously you're going to get some very Euro results here. It's 100% European there. So 23.2 Basque French, 19.4 Welsh, 13.4 Icelandic, 12.8 Swiss French, 11.2 Basque Spanish, 5.4 Finnish East, 5 Abkhazian, 3.8 French Corsica, 3.6 Lithuanian, 1.0 Cossack Cuban, etc. And let's take a look at a mixed European Crusader with a native Lebanese. And let's take a look at that. So that's 31 Italian Piedmont, 11 French Corsica, 9.4 Spanish Asturias, 9.2 Swiss French, 7 Berber Tunisia Chen, 6.2 Shetlandic, 4.8 Italian Molise, 4.4 Georgia Emir, 4.2 Italian Jew, 4 Italian Bergamo, 2.8 Armenian Hamsheni, 2.8 Spanish Andalusia, etc. Let's take a look at Levant LBN MANE. And 35.6 Lebanese Christian, 34.6 Samaritan, 19.8 Iraqi Jew, 7.2 Sardinian, 2 Armenian Hamsheni, and the trace results. And here is Levant Lebanon Roman. 43 Lebanese Christian, 23.4 Iraqi Jew, 14 Saudi, 8.6 Armenian Hamsheni, 7.2 Sardinian, 3.8 Yemenite Marah. And a couple more, or 3 more. Levant Natufian. Very Yemenite results here. Yemenite 75.6 Yemenite Marah, 18.8 Sahrawi, which is indigenous population from the Western Sahara, next to Morocco in northwestern Africa, and 4.6 Berber Martiz, 0.8 Canary Islands Gaunch, 0.2 Ethiopian Jew. And a couple more. Levant PPMB. And again, Yemenite, 64.2 Yemenite Marah, 32 Sardinian, 3 Berber Tunisia Chen, and the trace results. And then lastly, Levant PPNC, 62 Yemenite Marah, 28.2 Sardinian, 9.2 Berber Tunisia Chen, 4.4 Bedouin B, 0.2 Berber Martiz. Okay, so yeah, so you can really sort of see the shift here, right? You can see the change sort of in the admixture of the ancient Levant population from, the sort of Neolithic times and Natufian, Chalcolithic to the Bronze Age, and I think there was a real change in population there. So kind of interesting results. But I definitely just wanted to demonstrate the closest populations, at least in the Vahaduo online tool for modeling your ancestry. So, and then now I want to just briefly go over the results of an Ashkenazi Jew. Because I think there's some misperceptions about the ancestry of Ashkenazi Jews, of which I am one, and what our connection is to Europe, to the Middle East, to Israel. So I'm just going to, again, this is off the Vahaduo online tool for modeling your ancestry based on the Eurogenes Global25 coordinates. And this is an Ashkenazi Jew with there's 13 reference populations, scaled averages that are a part of the global G25 coordinates. And so I wanted to show the results with those 13 Jewish reference populations, including Ashkenazi, for an Ashkenazi Jew. Now, as you can see, obviously the top population is Ashkenazi Jew at 41.2, but then the second population is Sephardic Jew at 14.2, and then you get Italian Lazio, Italian Lombardy, showing that Ashkenazi Jews are also close to Italians. And there's Lebanese Christian, 4.6. That's a Levant. There's Kariite Egypt at 4.2. Iraq, Kariite Egypts are ancestrally the same population as Jews. And then you have Iraqi Jew at 3.8. Spanish Asturias 3.6. Italian Jew 3.4. Samaritan 3.2. Lithuanian 1.8. Bedouin B 1.6. Macedonian 1.6. And then the trace results for Ashkenazi Jew. Now I wanted to show, well, okay, so what would happen if I remove the 13 Jewish reference populations from the modern scaled average for the global 25 coordinates, and then ran the admixture calculator with Ashkenazi Jew as the target. What results would I get? What populations would replace the Jewish populations? Ashkenazi Jew, Sephardic Jew, Iraqi Jew, Italian Jew, Syrian Jew, etc. Well, I'm going to show you. So here's what happened. Lebanese Christian jumped up to the top population. So yeah, Lebanese Christian jumped up to the top population from 4.6 to 20.2. Samaritan increased from 3.2 to 14.4, and Kiriat Egypt increased from 4.2 to 3.8. The central and northern Italian populations went up in value too, showing the genetic influence from Italy on Ashkenazi Jews. The Iberian and North African went up a bit too without the Jewish references. So again, I'm going to show you this again. The Lebanese Christian jumped way up to the top spot. Samaritan went way up too, so did Kiriat Egypt. And the Italian results went up a bit too. Italian Lombardy, Italian Lazio, Spanish Asturias went up a bit too. And so yeah, and the Berber Tunisia Chen went up a little bit too. So that's sort of those populations that were, so everyone, questions often asked is like, what's the admixture underneath the diaspora Jewish populations? How much Levant is there? Well, not insignificant amount, that's for sure. So that's the result you get for Ashkenazi Jew without Jewish reference populations. Lebanese Christian, Italian Lombardy, Samaritan, Kiriat Egypt, Italian Lazio, Spanish Asturias, Macedonian, Berber Tunisia Chen, Romanian, Russian Kursk, and then the trace results. And then I also want to show the ancient results for an Ashkenazi Jew. This is the Ashkenazi Jew average. And look at that, the top population is the top two ancient populations for Ashkenazi Jew are Iran, Haji Farouz Iron Age, and Levant PPNC. And so the Levant, the Iran Haji Farouz Iron Age is those are ancient DNA samples from the Zagros Mountains in northwestern Iran. And so is you can see there 3.6 Iran Ganj Dera historic is also from the Zagros Mountains in northwestern Iran. And there was a study done on those ancient populations from the Zagros Mountains region of northwestern Iran, and it showed that they genetically they are not related to the early European farmers that migrated to southeastern Europe to the Mediterranean from the Anatolia. And the Zagros Mountain region, the early farmers there were actually more related to South Asian populations, but the specific archaeological sites there that are related to Ashkenazi Jews are also related to Zoroastrians, Iranian Zoroastrians. So that's definitely like Europeans do not get these the ancient populations such as ancient archaeological digs such as Iran Haji Farouz Iron Age and also Iran Ganj Dera historic. But then you got number two right behind that is Levant PPNC at 9.8. And then Hungary Tiza, I think that's late Neolithic. And then 7.6, again, another Levant Israel, Ashkelon, late Bronze Age. That's a sample from that study on the Philistines that showed that they very quickly assimilated into the Levantine population by the late Bronze Age. And Anatolia and Cayman, Kalahoyik, MLBA, Middle Late Bronze Age, Wales, HRV, I think that might be from like Serbia or something like that, or maybe somewhere in the Balkans. I'd have to research that. And TKM, and then there's the Iran Ganj Dareh Historic, TKM Ganar 3BA, BGR Varna N3, etc. So I'll just scroll down here and you can see all the ancient results for Ashkenazi Jew. And then lastly, what I did was the Eurogenes blog, David Weslowski gathered like 500 individual Ashkenazi Jewish DNA samples and plotted their Global 25 coordinates. And I took a bunch of those and I added them to the Global 25 Europe 2 PCA. And they all and I wanted and then I added the arrows here just to demonstrate how far the Ashkenazi Jewish cluster is from Western, Central, and Eastern European populations. As you can see, Ashkenazi Jews cluster in the periphery of Southern Europe, basically in the Mediterranean Sea, next to, I'll zoom in there, next to Sephardic and Italian Jews, and close to Sicilians, Maltese, South Italians, Greeks, and Cretans. And so there's the Ashkenazi Jewish cluster, there's Sephardic and Italian Jews, there's Southern Europe, there's Western Central Europe, and there's Eastern Europe. And so, you know, I wanted to visualize that Ashkenazi Jews are close to Mediterranean and Middle Eastern Jews because we are Mediterranean and Middle Eastern Jews. Thank you for watching.